G'day everyone, welcome back to Shane's Shed. As part of stripping my disco down for parts, somebody's wanting the electronic park brake module. So I've never done a video on this before, so I figured it's a good time now to get in. We'll strip it all out and I'll show you what's involved in pulling it out, because it is a pretty common job to have to do on disco 3 and 4s. Yeah, so let's get into it. Alright, so it is a bit of a cold, wet, crappy day, and I don't really feel like crawling around on the ground, but it is what it is. So part of the job, we've got to pull the rear wheels off. We've got to remove the rear brake discs because we need to release the park brake, basically the end of the cables from within the park brake assembly. So let's jack the rear of the car up and we'll get those wheels off and we'll go from there. Once you've got the car up in the air as well, and safely on jack stands, I always give it a bit of a shove before I jump under there, just to make sure it's perfectly stable. Alright, so the next part, once the wheel's off, is we've got to remove this rear brake caliper. Now there's 2 bolts for the caliper bracket itself on the back. You will need a 12-point socket for those, not a 6-point, just due to the design of the head. And we also need to remove, once that caliper's off, to remove the brake disc, we just got a T50 bolt there that's just basically a retainer for that brake disc. So we'll get those off and we'll hang this caliper up out of the way, and then we can get to our brake cable. Oh, sorry, park brake cable. These ones at the back, they're a 15mm and they're normally pretty tight as well. So always got told as an apprentice, don't use your hand as a hammer, so don't use your hand as a hammer. So there in the better light, there you can see why you need a 12-point socket, not a 6-point. So yeah, you just won't get a 6-point on those. Sometimes the brake calipers, you may need to just get a screwdriver or something in there, just to wiggle them about, just to push that, basically to get that piston back, give you a little bit of wriggle room to get the caliper off, but in this case, it's not a problem. So I'm just going to hang it up out of the way, but you may want to tie that up so it doesn't fall and damage your brake line, but since I don't really care about this brake line getting damaged, it doesn't matter. So you may want to loosen off this bolt before you get started, or before you remove the caliper and all that stuff, but we'll see what we can do this way. It's not overly tight normally. So in some cases you may have to back off your park brake shoes, so that's where your little grommet there is, and I'm pretty sure from memory this side is down the very bottom, but this one's just coming off pretty easily. Just as at the top, sorry. So the other side, I believe, is on the bottom. So our brake, emergency brake cable comes through at the back of this shoe, which we need to remove. So we need to remove these clips, basically remove these shoes. Now I'm just going to use a little screwdriver just to knock these up. Or you can just try and lever them up if you can as well. There we go. So basically these clips, they just hold the whole shoe in. So I'm just going to back this adjuster off just to give me a little bit more sort of wiggle room, I guess, with all the springs, because a lot of these can get quite tight on brake shoes. So whatever you can do to make your job a bit easier is always welcome. If I can get that adjuster out, then that makes things a bit easier. There we go, that's adjuster out. So hopefully, I don't know how well you'll see or not, but we've just got the end of the shoe, or just got the end of the brake cable. Alright, so just on the front we've got this little plastic cover which we can unscrew. You should just be able to use a pair of pliers just to undo this, or you can use a shifter, whatever you please. Now is that out of the way? I don't know if you'll see it. I'll try and get a better view on there, but there's a little clip in there. So you can see with that little cover off, we just got this little clip. We just need to knock that out. So just a little circlip. Yeah, just knock it out. Easy with a screwdriver. Next major step is I just want to remove this bottom spring, just so I can remove the brake shoes. So we've got the top one there that I'll try and pull off as well. So that one's nice and easy because it's quite lightweight. But this bottom one is quite a heavy duty spring, and yeah. Yeah, we'll just leave this brake shoe out. There we go. That's probably the easiest way. Now that's out, we'll bring it around on this side and we'll show you the we call it park brake mechanism. And this is always the fun challenge of trying to figure out how to film this sort of stuff without getting everything in the way, and you can see what's going on. So that spring there, I did pull that out, so that normally holds up just under there like so. So we pull that up out of the way. This looks like it goes forward and up and through like that. There we go. And that's shoe release, and that spring I would assume comes all the way off, so that, or it just stays there, and then that can slide back out. There we go, through the out from the spindle. As far as this is concerned here, we just got one 13mm bolt just on that rear lower control arm. In the shadow, can't escape the weight that drags me down. There you go, so once that's up there, you can sort of remove it from there. You could probably get away without doing that, but it's probably just a bit easier. So now in order to get this cable out, on the right side, we've just got a little clip there. We can just, should be able to just push it out of. And I'll try and get it out without my hand in the way. Okay, so I'll try and do this while looking through the screen of the phone, but yeah, you should just be able to use that screwdriver just to lever that straight out. I'm going to put the phone down, it's too hard to do this one-handed. Just a note for the left side as well, don't forget you will have your air suspension compressor here, so you're probably going to have to come in from up the top there to try and pop that out of its by little bracket, or you may need to drop the air suspension compressor out of the way. Yeah, just do whatever you can do. Okay, we're looking in the left side of the chassis here now, so geez, I'm just going to try and poke my finger up. That little bracket there, where that bolt is, that hooks up onto that, that's our cable, so we need to remove that bracket. I think it's attached up here as well, possibly. On the right hand side, we've just got this bracket, this bolt just here for the bracket, and it follows up in there, and then we got just above the rear diff there, we've got our park brake module. So we've got electrical connector over there that needs to come out, and just all the bolts which I believe we access from the back. Okay, with that one removed, there is another little clip there that just holds on with a harness there. Now that one there in the middle, it is, I can't even show you, but above that little bracket there, there is a bolt up there. so I'm going to have to remove that. Should be the same deal with this one up here as well. There should be another bolt above that. Again, you got some other little clips here that just need to be popped off, and that should be about it. So obviously you're going to need the spare tyre out if you've still got your spare tyre here for this next step. So our park brake module is behind this plate here, so we've got 2 bolts here, another 2 just on there, and we've got cable that plug that needs coming off on this side. So all those bolts are removed, and as you can see, especially on that side, we have lots of clips and stuff that need to come off. We've got all these, I guess it's a breather line or something that needs to come off, and you've got this wiring harness that is attached at the base here and here, so that needs to come off. I might just trim the tape that's holding that on in place for the moment, and worry about the rest of it later, or I might just pop the screwdriver in there and pop those out. We'll see how we go. There's one more piece to this puzzle as well. See it here, but there you go. That one there coming out from the top, that is your emergency park brake release. Best bet is to follow it along the chassis, pop it out of any of the clips where it's where you find it, and I say, that's it there. So pretty much work it all the way back to the cab, and we're going to need to disconnect it from inside the cab as well. You're going to need to remove the top of the centre console, and besides all the scunge and gunge and whatnot, this here is what you're looking for, this loop. So that's by what you pull to do an emergency release of the handbrake. So we need to release that, and that just pulls forward out of its little thing, and then we should be able to pull it through and out of the vehicle. Alright, so back under the vehicle. Luckily, I have a drive shaft out, so this makes this bit a lot easier to explain, but you will have drive shaft there, so this is where that emergency release comes through the vehicle. So it's just a clip. You want to give it a turn, and she just pulls straight out like that. And then that whole thing is released and ready to slide out. So there's the electrical plug as well on the left-hand side that needs to be removed. So it is just there's a little button here. I can't really see what I'm doing with the camera in the way, to be honest, but there is this clip here just needs to come forward. There is a little retainer, there we go. I'll see what I can do with staying out of your way there. So that one just pulls forward. Can hardly do this one-handed. There we go. There's that clip, it's just that little lever there. So it sort of latches itself into place. Hey, so somehow I've managed to not record actually removing the park brake module from the vehicle. So I'll just do a bit of a highlight now, a couple of days later while I've still got it here. The right hand side, I've just grabbed that cable and basically pulled it all out towards the back of the module, and then I can rotate this module out and pull it out that way from the back of the vehicle, because this side you've got a couple of extra cables, so it is probably maybe the harder side to pull all out if you're just going to release one side first. So I'd normally do that side first and then sort of drag this lot straight out the back of the vehicle. Hopefully that helps with that little bit of a missing video and footage stuff. So yeah, sorry about that, it happens. There we have it. That is one electronic park brake module out with all its associated cables. If you need to do further repairs on it from here, then or replacement, that's kind of easy to do. You can see this is the on the right hand side. You got a clip where the main fuel line comes through, a couple of fuel line breathers and whatnot. So yeah, they're a bit fiddly trying to get all that bay out. Once all that's done, it's nice and easy. Yeah, so look, getting that module out, probably the hardest thing is kind of probably these little clips that are up on the side, at either side. There's a couple of them, they just due to the access, they just take ages to get to, and yeah, and they do provide a bit of a pain when trying to yank everything out. I'm glad I'm not putting this back in, as per a few of my recent jobs I've done this. It's just strip and remove only, so I'm pretty thankful about that. So these are a bit of a problem child in the D3 and 4. If your handbrake isn't adjusted properly, these things basically overextend and the gears don't do their thing properly. That's when you need to use that emergency park brake release to release it all. But yeah, if you want to avoid that, either don't use your handbrake that often or keep your park brake adjusted. And if you want to see a video on how to adjust your park brake, go check out over here. Hey pup.